This video is a little bit different than what I normally break down, and it's a video for those of you that trade options or looking to learn more about trading options, or even if you trade individual shares, because I'm going to break down a full strategy that you're going to want to stick around for towards the end. And I have a vision to build a community around this strategy, just like retail arbitrage. If you're not familiar with that, we're going to break that down in today's video as well. What that means, if you've heard about it but just don't know, and if you do know, I want you to go ahead and hear out what I'm going to break down, put it together with what you already know, and then decide for yourself if it makes sense for you, because I want people that are going to be part of this limited access community to be with the same vision and same understanding of what it is that I'm seeing and how we can apply this as opportunities arise within the volatility. As I always state, volatility presents opportunity. You can comment down below in the comment section, join, so I could send you the link to the private community once I have it all put together. So it's going to be limited access once I release it. Now, this is 42 Vision's site, and we're showing Bank of America as an example. And what we're looking for is for the overextensions that happen to the upside or downside between Monday and Wednesday, preferably Monday and Tuesday, but we look at them all the way up towards Wednesday. And these levels are plotted automatically every single Monday, and it's calculated and plotted, and it stays there, okay, when you look at the charts. Now, it does change a little bit. This is the 15-minute. If I go to the 1 hour, if you could see here, this is 52.36. The 1 hour, the calculation changes by a few cents, but it doesn't matter. What we're looking for is overextensions and breakouts to the downside or upside of those key last levels that are bright blue, right? And we want the price to stay below it for as long as possible before the close, while the market open is happening like how it happened yesterday on Bank of America, and then trying to catch the possible reversal, because these are high probability reversal trades. It doesn't just happen once. It happens to the upside. You could see it there. It overextended on Tuesday, fell all week, and came to the downside. And then there's weeks where it doesn't happen. You ignore that. You go and scan the market and look for other ones. This one, it happened on Tuesday, and it came back up on the same day, nearly all the levels, and then the next day it went to the top side. Is it guaranteed to do this every single time? No. No, it's not. That's not true. But we're looking for high probability setups that can reverse. And then one of the things that I look for is options that are not the same week. That's actually a very big lotto play. I'm trying to get something a week or two out. And this one's very risky, the one I'm going to show as an example, because it's this same week. So it was Monday to today. And they turned out to go up over 100% overnight. And how does this work? Well, the whole explanation that I want to give you guys to simplify it is the markets, we look at it as a whole entire section of different stocks to choose from, whole bunch of numbers and charts moving around. But if we narrow down the perspective to think the market is a store, and when you go into the store, there's things on sale, there's things that you walk right by and you don't even grab and you don't even pay attention to. And that's what's going on every single day in the markets. We walk by things that we don't even pay attention to. We don't even look at, right? And then we look at things that maybe somebody told us through word of mouth, or that we saw somewhere, or we saw in a commercial, or we saw something about it that reminded us about it, and then we go and buy it. Or what catches our attention is the items on sale. Now, that's walking into the store just as a consumer. Now, retail arbitrage is where people try to find items that are either collector items or on sale, so far discounted that there's enough room to purchase it and flip it for a profit. And that's the goal here with these options, that we're looking for cheap options that can be flipped for a profit. And the goal is where it looks cheap and how we distinguish when something is actually on sale. Because remember, sometimes things go on sale and they might be 50% off at the store, but then when you go to flip it, it's actually more expensive than what people are paying for it after market. And then there's times where some things do go on sale and there's people paying more. Or sometimes you can even get an item full price. And I'm going to show you guys an example here. This is a collector's item right now that just went bonkers. How there's also like an example I could show you guys of what an option spread would look like on these things, and then people buying them cheaper to sell them for more. So you have all different scenarios. And how do we distinguish when an option or a stock is looking cheap that week? Falling below this level. And how do we distinguish when puts are looking cheap that week? When it breaks above this level. Now, this one was very short-lived. That was actually a very risky one. It was starting to move very quick to the downside, but yeah. And then this week, look, it stayed above it all week, but that's not something that I would be looking for. I would be looking more for Monday, Tuesday, hitting the bottom levels, really. That's my favorite. I don't really like doing the top ones because sometimes things can overextend for much longer than anticipated, like the SPY just keeps going up. And the SPY literally did it from yesterday to today. Full move. And that's what this is all about. So I'm going to show you guys here a retail arbitrage that was full price. It wasn't on sale or anything, but people are paying crazy amounts. So it was this Sonic the Hedgehog action figure for the 35th anniversary, right? It was this one. The 35th anniversary toy with the big green diamond, going for $9.99. It's completely out of stock, okay? And if you come over to eBay, people are selling these between $40, okay, to $60. That's the spread. I would call that the spread. $40 to $60, and the mid is $50. Just an example. So that's what this comes down to. And there's people in communities together notifying each other, okay, about this, notifying, hey, this is in stock right now. This is over here, or this is going for this much. And what I want to come and do is, everyone's going to have access to 42ish Insight. You put it on the weekly chart, and since you have to pay to get indicator notifications, I didn't put any notifications on the indicator itself that would send alerts directly to Discord or anything. If not, what we need to do is set up an alert for the price that we see at the bottom level right there, like this example, 52.36. And when it breaks that week, you go and look at it. And if it doesn't break or it goes against that, like let's say this one actually started going upwards like it did here last week, well, then tomorrow I'm going to try to look for another one that's getting really close to that level or breaking through that level, and I'll set a notification again. And what I would love is for us as a community to say, hey, I set up this alert. It's Tuesday, and it actually hit. I was waiting since yesterday to today. It actually hit. It's below those levels. Check it out. And everyone is contributing and helping each other out, a community of individuals helping each other out and looking at these overextensions for cheap options. And in this scenario, the options went as low as 28 cents yesterday. Okay, I have it right here. The chart, it was all the way down to 29 cents. And today, it's closed at 61 cents, and it went as high as 70 cents. Okay, that is 100% plus overnight. Now, that was the weeklies expiring this Friday. But if you were to go ahead and look at it, okay, for next week's, they're still probably up 30, 50%. So how do we scan through the markets for this? So for example, Nvidia's hanging out in the middle here, 196. I would put an alert and see if tomorrow, Wednesday, we hit 193. And if we fall below it, anything below that level, the options are looking pretty cheap. Now, I would not buy a weekly. I would buy 1 week or 2 weeks out, okay, to minimize my risk on theta. This one, look, it just pushed up. I would ignore that. Apple pushed up. I would ignore that. Beautiful jump, but it didn't hit the area that we needed, right? Microsoft is hanging out in the middle. Could still present an opportunity. Amazon hit today to the upside, looking like a put option opportunity, and it already broke through 2 levels, and it might head towards 265. Take note of that. I want you guys to write this down. It's at 271. The next level is 265. See if it heads towards it. And it's been caught, if one had the notification on, up at 277. And look at the put options. Look at the put options, how they went from Tuesday to tomorrow if there's a push towards 265. Even if it doesn't break this, how much up did they go up on the same day and the next day to get an idea? AV Go, yesterday, wonderful reversal. Look at this. From the bottom level, it touched it, reversed back up, and the next morning you were already up at 426 and broke out even further beyond expectations. This is what it's all about, guys. And they're happening weekly. Look, there's no trade yet on Meta. Ignore it. Tesla. Tesla went all the way to the top side today. It spent there 30 minutes above 400. Perfect timing to go ahead and buy some puts. Same day, already dropped below 393 and hit 387. And go ahead, jot this down. Take note of it. The next level is 384, and then the next level is 380. And look for yourself. If it breaks through those two, and look at those options, how they end up playing out. But even just that move so far, and then touching 384 tomorrow, those options are going to be printing. Walmart, hanging out in the middle. There's no trade. Lilly, no trade. It was hanging out in the middle. It's moving. It's doing things, but we don't care for that. JP Morgan, kind of slow, choppy upside, but hey, it was looking like a nice trade. It moved back up a little bit. MU, no trade. That's a wonderful move, but not for what we're looking for. Exxon got really close. This was a little risky, but hey, it did a trade there. AMD on earnings, okay? Right before earnings, it was down here, okay? And look at that burst. That's freaking wonderful. Tomorrow, those options are going to be printing. And it was here on Monday. This would be a real lotto. All the other ones have been showing you they're not moving because of earnings. This was because of an earnings move. So this is over exaggerated and beyond what anyone would expect, but wonderful to say the least. Intel, nice move, but again, not the trade we're looking for. Johnson & Johnson broke through it. Look at that. Into the close, broke through it in the middle of the day at 224. Wake up this morning, hanging out at 224, 225, and broke out above 225 and went all the way to 226. I would not really wait for it to go all the way up here to these levels, because you sometimes get these volatile moves to the downside, especially if I already gapped up and I'm making enough and I'm happy with my profits. I would really close it. But nice move. Oracle, yeah, no trade. Costco actually presented a great opportunity 2 weeks ago on Tuesday, and it came right back up to 1,005 from 988, and then all the way up to 1,015. So that was a pretty cool one 2 weeks ago. But this week there's no trade based off the strategy, and you could just keep seeing through the markets how many of these actually pan out. This is what it's all about. I wouldn't do this. This was after earnings. I would just ignore it. It could come all the way back up to 90. It could in a week or two. That's awesome, but not what I would touch. I'm looking more for things. This one was on earnings, but hey, this played out pretty good too. And let's see here. Okay, Procter & Gamble. Look, Procter & Gamble was broken below it yesterday. Okay, hanging out at 143. It did go a little lower. And that's all right, because that's what volatility presents sometimes. It's just having that thick skin and you know, having those guts to hold through, especially if you know why you're holding through. And if I had more capital and I had a strong conviction on what I saw, I would probably double dip there, dollar cost average. And as soon as that popped back up, maybe I would have just closed it out, because now I have more capital in the game, skin in the game, than I wanted. And if I'm happy with the profits that it gave me that same day, which is going to be a little bit more than what I would have made with what I put in the day before, because now I put more capital in, I'll walk away. And if it takes from that day to the next day, most likely that reversal and retracement could possibly happen. So it's all about buying time. If you buy the same week, that theta really eats you. So that's the goal here with these opportunities. And you have them coming up every single day, and I would love for the community to get connected. It's going to, again, be a limited access community. It is separate from Invest for Tomorrow completely and having access to the indicators. It's just 42 Vision site focusing on the strategy and doing options arbitrage. Options arbitrage, real definition, is not the way I'm defining it as, which I'm comparing it to retail arbitrage, trying to find things on sale or things that are cheaper than what they're being resold for so that one can make a profit. And the goal is to try to find options that are cheaper and looking cheap to resell them for a profit. And that's what the whole market is all about, exchanging, right? And flipping. Everyone's flipping. And it's a big old store. And there's some things on sale. There's some things that are overpriced and some things that are not even worth looking at. Just like you walk right by the aisle and you don't even look at some of the items. You sometimes don't even know they exist. Um, and that's the whole mindset. This is one big store, and we're just looking for that treasure hunt of what's on sale. Now, is this strategy 100% perfect? No, it's not. It's not. But almost always, when you pull down away from this level, you're at a cheap level. I mean, it stuck there for 2 or 3 days, and then going into earnings and went up. Wonderful. And it used earnings, but even the week before without earnings, every time it broke below that level, it was cheap. And then all it took was the next day gapping up, and it was up, because buying down here and the next morning, that's at least 20% right there. And it could be probably more, but I'm lowballing that. And then if you held through and you had time to hold through that Friday, no earnings, just a regular Friday, but pure volatility and strength, it went all the way up to 146, making those options print. Same thing here. Another regular week on Procter and Gamble, right? On Wednesday. Oh no, Tuesday actually. Tuesday it was down at 140, broke through the level. Even if you caught it here at 141 and it went a little bit against you, the next morning you were already up once it gapped up, and even through the volatility of pulling back and then bouncing all the way up towards 144 and then continuing to the upside. But once it rips through this level, 143.95, anywhere up here, I would just start selling. So if you guys want to join, comment join down below in the comments section so I could send you the link once I get it all released. And again, it's limited access, and I want to build a community of investors that are with that mindset. If you have that mindset that you've done retail arbitrage, or you've been in communities of retail arbitrage, or trying to get, Pokemon cards or action figures or just any collectible item, but those are like the most mainstream of chasing and looking for the best prices, and you have that perspective, I want you to join us. I want you to join us. And if you trade options, this is great. And if you're looking to learn more about options, this is even better for you. This is the place that I want people to join, learn, and grow together. As always, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.